That's better. Hello and welcome to The War on Error. I'm Graham Hughes. It is Thursday, the 3rd of November, 2022. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, MMXX11 is nearly over. It's nearly over. Well, there should be I guess, for Roman numerals. MMXXII. It's a great number for a year, but unfortunately it's been a bit of a shit year. Because the people in charge are shit. They're really bad at their jobs. If you were that bad at your job, you'd be in fucking jail, mate. You wouldn't just lose your job. You'd be in jail for causing the death of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. And here we go. We're heading into the Brexit recession that was predicted back in 2016. It's finally here. It's finally caught up with us. A 2-year recession that's been predicted by the Bank of England. A 2-year recession, people. Interest rates up to 3%. If you have a mortgage, you're kind of fucked. If you're trying to get on the property ladder, you've already been fucked. Now you're getting fucked again because you're not going to get on the property ladder because it's too fucking expensive. The only people who are laughing, the only people who are like, ha ha ha, this is really funny, this really makes me happy, are the retirees who have paid off their mortgages, who don't give a fuck, who are much more interested in making people's lives a fucking misery. That includes you, includes me, and includes any refugees who might come to our shores. Because the fact is that there are a lot of people in the world still fleeing persecution. And we signed up to the UN Declaration of Human Rights, which says in Article 14, I believe, that we will take people. And we will take people from anywhere and give them asylum if they're genuine asylum seekers. And instead of having a system in which people can be processed when they're in Calais, or even better, where they can apply online and then come across on a boat or a plane or not by a boat, I don't mean a leaky fishing boat, I mean an actual fucking ferry. No, we're not going to have that. No, we're going to make these women and children come across the 30-mile strait of the English Channel. We're going to threaten them with forages and the Navy is going to come and tell them to go away. Then we're going to put them in a detention centre, which is supposed to be a processing centre. That's not supposed to be in more than 24 hours. Because to put them in a hotel would be a big waste of money. Meanwhile, our cunt of a Home Secretary, Cruella Braverman, she goes down there on a fucking Chinook helicopter. A fucking Chinook helicopter. At the cost of thousands of pounds to the taxpayer. Do you know what else has also cost the taxpayer billions of pounds? The fucking Tories. Their mad fucking kamikaze budget last month, or the month before now, cost the British taxpayer £40 billion. Next time you meet someone who goes off on one about Gordon Brown selling the nation's gold, always sold the gold, and he could have got more money for it if he'd waited a few years. Yeah, mate, he could have probably got about 2 billion more for it, 2, maybe 3 at a push. Not 40 fucking billion that has disappeared. But Cruella Braverman needs to take a helicopter down to fucking Kent. And it takes an hour to get there on the train. I don't know, it costs like £11 for fuck's sake. But no, we're going to charge it to the taxpayer. And do you know what else we're having to pay? You know whenever they have a new minister, and they've had 5 education secretaries this year? Yeah, 5 of them, is it? They've had 4 home secretaries. We've had 3 prime ministers. Every time one of these fucking cunts gets kicked out of office, like Michael Gove, he was the minister without portfolio or something, and they kicked him out. Oh no, he was the minister for levelling up, wasn't he? And now he's back, right? But because he was out of government for 3 months, he gets a severance package. I think it's a quarter of the year's worth of fucking wages. That's quite generous, isn't it? Do you know how to pick up the tab for that? You fucking do. Fucking taxpayers. Over £700,000, which is small beans in the wastefulness of these thieving Tory fucking cunts. But still, £700,000 that we're having to pay because all these cunts are shit at their jobs. Severance pay. A golden parachute for these cunts. A golden parachute for the parasites. The Tory parasites milking this country. Milking it for all it's fucking worth. Little fuckers. Absolute fuckers. Anyway, Hope you're feeling alright. I certainly am. I'm sorry I swear a lot, but it's quite cathartic actually, because I'm so fucking angry with the bunch of shit we have in charge of this fucking country. I'm fucking angry that kids aren't looking forward to the future anymore, because it looks bleak as fuck. I grew up in the 90s, you know, that's when I came of age, in the 90s. The Cold War was over. The Twin Towers and the World Trade Center, we're still there. It was this wonderful 12-year decade from 1989 to 2001. From November 1989 to September the 11th, 2001, in which it did seem, for a moment, like the world was becoming a better place. And obviously, the forces that be, the fuckers that be, they turned against us. And went, oh, we're not going to allow that. They had Bush fucking Jr., W. Bush, cheating his way to the presidential election. Another fucking gobshite. Didn't win the popular vote. Trump didn't win the popular... I mean, just like, they get into power and more people vote against them than for them. More people vote for the other person than for them. And they go, yeah, democracy. I love democracy. It's like Elon Musk and his love of free speech that you got to pay for. How the fuck is it free speech if you got to pay for it, Elon? How does that fucking work? $240 a year? Oh yeah, that's nothing to a fucking billionaire. But to the rest of us who are like really struggling right now, it's actually quite a lot of money to spend on a platform that up till now was fucking free. Jesus fucking wept. Anyway, hello. I'm going to jump into the comments because I love yous all and I don't want you to feel left out. And I don't want you to feel like you've got to give me super chats in order for me to read your comment. Although, if I only read the comments that gave me a super chat, then I might make more money out of doing these things. But, you know, all things being equal, let's just have a good time, eh? Let's just have a fucking good time. Let's have a platform that's free. You can watch this for free. Just go into a cafe. Don't even buy anything. Just get some water. Get on their fucking Wi-Fi, right? And watch this for free. There you go. On YouTube, which is free, and you don't have to pay anything to watch it. Free speech, yeah! And you get to say things that come up here at the side of the screen. How fucking cool is that? Although I realised that I've made the Brexit recession box way too big, so you can only read a few lines there. I might make the box a little smaller. Can I do this while I actually chat with you? Would that be a bit rude to change the look of what I'm doing while I'm chatting with you? I don't think it would. There you go. Look, there you see. Look at that. A fucking producer, director, presenter, writer, juggler, acrobat, and absolute massive scouse wanker, all rolled into one. I can't even fit the amount of stuff that I can do on my fucking business card. True story. Anyway, right, I go really scouse when I start talking about myself. Anyway, Phil Spicer says, hi all. Hi Phil, how you doing? We've got Mark176 saying evening. Evening. We've got Graham Haller saying Jack Warner, evening all. We've got Chatty Rat saying good evening folks. We've got Mark saying time to cram another Prime Minister in before the end of the year. Well, Rishi Sunak, what a fucking start. What a fucking start, eh? Hey guys, wasn't that a good start? Putting fucking Suella Braverman back after 6 days out of office as our home fucking minister. The most rancid, disgusting Nazi we have ever had in the top echelons of government. This is a woman that makes Priti Patel seem cuddly and adorable. Oh my God! What? Yeah, exactly. Okay, Lefty Boza says, evening all. I for some reason just imagine that being said like a police constable in the 1950s before they go and, I don't know, commit some crime, some bit of genocide, I don't know. Do you know what the police are like? Alexander Campbell says, evening, and if it isn't the consequences of our actions. Yes, well, if it isn't the consequences of our actions. Now, maybe that's what I should have called this episode instead of the Brexit recession. Well, it is the Brexit recession. Make no bones about it. We're going into recession because of Brexit. And that's why this week they've been going nuts about immigration, because they need a distraction, they need a dead cat. But the thing is, right, when everyone's fucking poorer, right, and it's because of fucking Brexit, and we won't shut up about it, and we won't be quiet. Oh, please be quiet, Graham. Stop talking about Brexit all the time. It makes me sad. Why does it make you sad? Well, because I voted for it, and now I'm poor, and that makes me feel stupid. Well, tough shit, motherfucker. You voted for Brexit. Not you watching this, because obviously you didn't, but like people who voted for Brexit, they voted to make us poorer. All of us. Unless, I don't know, we're Lord Rothermere and we have a fucking non-dom status somewhere in the fucking Canary Islands. Oh, yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Make loads of money for my Nazi fucking rag, the Daily Mail. I'll drip poison into the eyes of your grandparents. And I'll do it without paying any fucking tax on my cunting fucking income. Pays nothing, because he's non-domed. He pays, was it 20 grand? 20 grand a year, is it? 20 grand, so he doesn't have to pay tax. Fucking cunt. And he gets to run he gets to own the Daily fucking Heil. The most insidious fucking piece of shit newspaper ever. This is the fucking paper, let's not forget, that supported the Nazis in the 1930s. It supported the British Union of Fascists. It supported Oswald fucking Mosley. This is the newspaper that wrote about our remaining universities and put up pictures of the judges who said that actually Parliament should do its job and called them enemies of the people. Enemies of the fucking people. Can you fucking fuck? Anyway, massive shout out to Cathal OG, the original gangster, who has put €5 into the pot for a pint. A pint pot, if you will. So thank you, Cathal. You're brilliant and awesome, and your picture is a little bit scary. I don't know who that is. It looks really familiar. Anyway, but yes, thank you, whoever you are. We've got James Hurtfield. They fit the definition of a concentration camp, talking about the Kent processing centre that no one's supposed to be in for more than 24 hours, and people have been there for weeks. By people, I mean fucking children have been there for weeks. Children. This is what we're doing. We are torturing children who are fleeing fucking war. That's where we got to in this cunt of a country. Fucking hell. Do you know what? The whole fucking thing burns, or it goes underwater, which is looking very likely. I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to drink my tea, and just watch it. Just fucking watch it. Fucking hell. The mini budget. The mini fucking budget. 2 years of recession to look forward to now. Negative equity. Your house prices going down. People who have paid into their pensions, into their mortgages for 20 fucking years are going to lose everything. They put literally £250,000 of their money that they've worked for, actually fucking worked for, not just owned something that other people do all the work for. They've actually had a job and done the fucking work and paid the fucking tax and given to a bank that gave them a mortgage. And now that mortgage is going to be unpayable. They won't be able to sell their fucking house because no one's going to be buying them. No one's going to be buying them at 10% fucking mortgages. And don't forget, these knobheads in the 19 who go, in the 1980s, we had interest rates in double figures. Yeah, but the actual cost of a fucking house was about 10 times fucking less than it is now. So proportionately, when you say 3% of X amount, it's actually a lot more of someone's income than it was back in the 1980s when you paid, on average, about 9% of your income on your mortgage or your rent. Now, it is over 30% on your mortgage or on your rent. That is what you earn. That is how much you have to pay out to just have a fucking roof over your fucking head. So you're going to have these people, and some of you watching this might be in this fucking boat, where you have paid tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds to pay off your mortgage over years, and then you can't make the repayments because they've gone up too much. What the fuck do you do? If you can't sell your house, the bank will take your house off you, and you leave with nothing. Good day to you, sir. This is happening because the Tories are so bad at managing a country. They're so fucking appalling at running anything. They couldn't even run a fucking bath. And this is where we are now. Our country is falling apart. We could have weathered the storm of COVID. Other countries did. We could have weathered the fucking storm of Putin invading fucking Ukraine. Other countries did. But we didn't, did we? Why not? Because at the base, at the bottom, underlying everything, the foundation of our current economic model is a fucking landmine called Brexit. A quagmire, a fucking swamp called Brexit. That's what we've built our economy on. We have built our economy on fucking trade sanctions that we put on ourselves. Holy motherfucking frog-snapping shit. How fucking stupid are we? And now, 60% of the people want to rejoin the EU. Or at least they think that leaving the EU is a mistake. 60%, fancy that. If 52% is a fucking landslide, I don't know what the fuck that is. It's not like the will of the people to me. But, you know, you wouldn't know that. Listen to Keir Starmer, who's like, no, we're going to talk about Brexit. La, 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 la. I understand what he's doing. I do. And I've said this before. I understand what he's doing. But at the same time, don't rule out going back into the single market, dickhead. Just don't rule it out, right? Just say, we're leaving all options open. Or something like that. I mean, for fuck's sake, did you see Rishi Sunak yesterday? Did you see him in the House of Commons going on about fucking Corbyn and Brexit? This is all he's got. It's all he's got. And fucking, these people are so shite at their job. They should be in jail. If you're in charge of anything in which it was people's lives, you know, it was a matter of life and death, and you were that tragically awful at the job, you would be in jail. Not given a fucking promotion to Prime Minister. Jesus wept. Anyway, we've got Alexander Campbell. I'll say it once again. 2022 is the year of 3 prime ministers, 4 chancellors, and a funeral. Indeed. Is that a new hat, says David? No, it's not. But, right, this is really weird. So when I was in Panama last week, I obviously the hat gets hot and it gets a bit sweaty, and it kind of gets this shape to it, you know, the classic Australian shape, which is what it's supposed to be. In fact, in American Sign Language, this is the sign for Australian, because it's the shape of the Australian hat. You do that by your head, and it means someone is Australian, right? And so yeah, that's fine, yeah. But when you get these hats, they're completely flat. They're completely flat around there. They don't have that shape. That shape is created by the leather contracting, and it gets pulled into that sort of S shape at the side. And is it S shape? I don't know. The shape of Australian hat. But for some reason, so I went to fucking Panama, and this got wet, and then I came back on the plane, and it seemed to shrink a bit on the plane. I don't know, in the air conditioning, because it was by my feet and it got very cold on the plane. It's gone kind of flat again. It's kind of flat, but it is my old. It's my old. Well, it's not my old hat. My first hat I got in 2002. My first hat in Alice Springs in Australia. Fucking hell, a lifetime ago. 20 years ago. Jesus Christ. And this is about my 14th hat. Keep losing them. Right, anyway, moving swiftly on. We've got Mark saying, at least Brazil result panned out well. Yes, it did, Mark, except he hasn't got control. Lula has not got control of the Congress over there, which means that the fascists basically have control of it, so he's not going to be able to do very much, but I'm hoping he'll be able to make some presidential proclamations. Also, when we're talking about elections, the elections in Israel this week didn't go according to plan for anyone who cares about, I don't know, decency, honour, commitment to human rights. And Benjamin Netanyahu is yet again the fucking new prime minister of, well, he's going to be new prime minister of Israel. Another dark day in another dark chapter in the history of Israel, as it means that the Yahoos have taken over the asylum again. And here's another thing. It's a midterm elections next week in America, I think on Tuesday. It's usually Tuesday, isn't it? And it's a second Tuesday in November, I think. But going back, trying to think. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, it looks like the Republicans, it did look like the Republicans were going to take the House of Representatives, which was a bit shit. But the Democrats are going to keep hold of the Senate. Just checked on 538.com, and it does look like, nope, you were fucked. They're going to take both. They're going to take both houses of Congress in America, and that's it. The fascists have taken over. Again, have stacked the Supreme Court, and now nothing's going to get done in America for the next 2 years. So it's good that at least Biden got the infrastructure bill through. He got some tinkering on the sides of Medicare done, but at the end of the day, they've lost abortion in many states in America. Like, you can't get an abortion now in many states in America, which is fucked, by the way. Fucked with a capital fucking F for fucked. That 9 people, well, not even 9 people, 6 of 9 people can decide on the fate of the reproduction systems of literally thousands, millions of women across America. But don't let it worry any of the rich people, because they can afford to get, nice abortions in nice, abortion clinics that they can fucking afford. It's the people who can't afford it and can't afford to go out of state, can't afford to fly to the other side of the fucking country to have an abortion. And it's not just abortions. People think of abortions like the fucking coat hanger or something. No, this is like the morning after pill. Yeah, the morning after pill. Yeah, that's not allowed. And there's even cases where, there's a child who is pregnant with their dad's fucking daughter or son, the child, and they want to get rid of it, obviously, for obvious reasons, because, I don't know, maybe because incest babies are bad, maybe because, I don't know, having a child is bad, really bad for them. They could die, and these fucking whack jobs in America are like, no, you can't. Yeah, Christian nation, apparently. They're all Christians over there. Did you know? Okay, moving on. £20 for a white tick, says Mark. Indeed, or blue tick, whatever. It is a white tick on a blue background. Don't forget the infamous picture of Elon Musk and Giselle Maxwell. Yeah, Elon Musk, what a fucking tool. He's just doing such a number on Twitter, isn't he? He's like a petulant child, because obviously he fucked himself by saying he was going to buy Twitter for over the odds, and then they were like, okay, we're going to hold you to this. And he realised he was going to lose more money by going to court, which they're going to take him to court this month. In where the fuck were they going to go to court? It was like Connecticut or somewhere. It was one of these New England states where they go through the court system really super fucking extra fast. And he realised he was fucked, and he decided, okay, well, I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy the company for £44 billion, which is way more than it's worth. And now I'm going to make money out of it by charging people to keep their blue ticks. And Stephen King went, I'm not paying fucking $20. And then Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, apparently, says, what about $8? He's like haggling with Stephen King in real time on the internet, and you think the world hasn't gone mad? And he also thinks he's some kind of fucking Robin Hood. I mean, what the fuck? The richest man in the world. He's like, well, I'm fed up with this feudal system of Twitter, and what we're going to do now is, if you can afford $240 a year, you can have all these treats, and if you can't afford that, then no one's going to listen to a fucking word you say. Fucking lunatic. Anyway, Cruella, indeed. Dandy, thank you. Yes, indeed. Could Braverman even point to Manson on a map before today? I doubt it. But to be fair, I didn't know where Manson was. I'm not from down south. It all looks the same to me. Is that racist? I don't know. Yovash says, sorry, you're out of dead cats because of Brexit. Indeed. We've got Freckle Puny saying, hi all. Hi, Freckle Puny. We've got Jacob Platt. Evening, Graham party people. 24-hour party people. Yo. We've got Freckle Puny saying, Nutella Braverman is looking for rather fat ravishing these days, don't you think? It's my pre-drunk comment. She's not. She's looking absolutely fucking disgusting. She is a disgusting human being who is a fascist. She's an out-and-out fascist. She spoke of an invasion this week. An invasion. She used the word invasion. And a scourge of asylum seekers, people fleeing persecution. A scourge of them. They were going to come over here and create problems. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's Podge. Indeed, children in the pen. That's what it is. People, including children, being treated like animals. Worrying 30 sequel. Indeed, mate. Factgasm says the pound continues to slide after the Bank of England raised rates today. That means the market is expected further for rate rises shortly. Yes. The pound continues to slide. The pound's down. Foreign direct investment is down. Interest rates are up. Inflation is up. The Tories have got the Rishi bounce. The Rishi bounce. They're now 25 points below Labour. Yeah, wow, good job, mate. Yeah. I think anyone who voted for these fucking cowboys and clowns and reprobates and thieves, I think that a lot of them are hopefully having second thoughts. Looking at the stats, it looks like a good few of them are having second thoughts. Not all of them, obviously, because there's fucking others out there who are like, oh, well, I'm all right, Jack, and everyone else is suffering, but that makes me happy. Yeah, great. Nice one. A scare at bedtime. Shat so that on average, Labour leaves the economy in a better state than the Tories, and that's without the millstone of Brexit. Indeed. We've got Phil saying Sunak instrumental in causing 2008 financial crisis with Goldman Sachs and instrumental in causing the current financial crisis, the Sunak recession. Yes, indeed. And don't forget, we probably wouldn't have had Brexit had we not had that crash in 2008. Can someone text Graham's girlfriend to sneak a couple of Valiums in his tea? My ears are hurting. That's from Andreas. Oh, come on, Andreas. We're only having a laugh. But yes, I will go to. I will sleep the sleep of angels tonight. I assure you. I just need to get it off. I need to get it off my chest. It's like I've said this before. It's like a counselling session for me. Do you know what I mean? It's like group therapy for me. Being able to sit down with people who are like-minded, go, what the fucking fuck is fucking going on? Fuck! Yeah, being able to do that's quite important. More importantly, Lula 1 is I hope for the rainforest. I hope so. In his opening speech, first speech, inaugural speech, he did make the point that he did want to do something about the fact that under his rule, what was he, 2003 to 2011, something like that he was in, the amount of deforestation went down, and the basically it was heading to a point where we could save the Amazon rainforest, this vast fucking rainforest, this vast jungle of life and energy and biodiversity and a huge carbon sink as well, which we need to take carbon out of the atmosphere. And there's still people who are going, oh, but there's a sci-fi solution to this. We're going to have carbon capture walls, which use loads of electricity. And you're like, why don't we just not put the carbon in the air in the first place, and then we won't need to capture it? Yeah, but we can do it like without using fossil fuels. Okay, so you're using solar power and wind power, I guess, to make these carbon capture stations work. Yeah. Okay. Well, what about other people on the same grid? Are they having to use more gas, coal, oil to burn to keep them going in life because some of the energy has been taken by this carbon capture thing? Why don't you just make it so that everyone's getting clean power, and then you don't have so much CO2 going into the atmosphere in the first place? But this tech bro bullshit, fucking we're gonna save the world with technology. Yeah, it's quite fanciful. There's a bit in Watchmen in the comic book where Dr. Manhattan, is it Dr. Manhattan? No, I think it's Rorschach. He talks about all the people looking up and saying save us, and we look down and say no. That's kind of science at the moment because they can't. They're not being nasty about it. They're not being all Rorschach and shit. He's a bit of a sociopath, but they literally can't fix this problem unless we have the political will to stop burning so much fucking carbon. That's what we've got to do. Number one, stop burning carbon. Just stop oil. Sounds really simple. Yeah, actually, it fucking is. If the whole of fucking Europe can wean itself off Russian gas in the matter of fucking months, we can move mountains when it comes to climate change. We can build huge onshore and offshore wind farms. We can build nuclear power stations. We can use tidal power. We can use solar power. But according to Liz Truss, worst prime minister of all time, Liz Truss, which is what she's always going to be remembered as now, she said the worst thing in the world, worse than Hitler cancer, the worst thing in the world is a field. The most depressing thing in the world is it's not children in a concentration camp in Kent. No. That's not it. It's a field that's got solar panels in it. According to her, that's the most depressing thing. Wow. Ironically, for me, she is the most depressing thing in the world. The fact that she exists and the fact that she got to be Prime Minister, albeit for a week. Oh my God! Wow. Netanyahu, Trump, Johnson, just retire and go away. You had your time. So there, yeah. Freckle Puny, good point. Just want to talk about this for a moment because it happened while I was away. We got a new Prime Minister. I was in Ginger Island at the time. But I've got to say, Boris Johnson coming back from his holiday because he thought he had 100 votes. He thought he had 100 backers. He didn't. He didn't have 100 backers. He only had about 10. I then faced on the Dean Dorries when he stood up and he went, I don't think the time is right for my comeback. And she was just like, I think she was sitting next to who's she sitting next to? Kwasi Kwarteng, I think. She was like nudging him, going, is this real? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? My Boris. Fucking Nadine Dorries. What a fucking wretched human being. They all are, mate. They all fucking are. Yovosh just gave me 10 euros. Thank you, Yovosh. You fucking rock. If someone comes up to you and says you don't rock, you can say, fuck off. Graham Hughes told me that I fucking rock. Okay, maybe a wind turbine assaulted her when she was little. You never know. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, spider crawled over my bed when I was little, and I've always been scared of spiders ever since. Actually, when I was a kid, I watched the movie Runaway with, I think, Burt Reynolds in, wasn't it? And it was all about, like, computers and robots, and they had these little microchip robots that were like spiders, and they jumped on your face and killed you or something. It's kind of about the time of like RoboCop and stuff, you know, sort of future technology sort of being used for evil. A bit like Black Mirror, I guess. And yeah, I remember one night I was on my bed and I was half asleep. I was only about 6 at the time, and I felt like something on the bed. I thought it was one of these microchips. Looks like a big spider, like big microchips. I was just gonna jump on my face and like stab me in the face with its sharp bits. And I went, ah! And kicked it up in the air, and it was my cat. It was my fucking cat. I've always felt bad about that. Obviously, my cat died a long time ago. Not from that incident, but you know, it was like 30 years ago. But oh shit, no, it was 35 years. Of course, it was even longer than that. It was about 37 years ago. Anyway, but and cats don't last that long. But yeah, I've always felt bad about that. There you go. Spiders. Fuck them. Greedy little cunts they are. They've got 8 legs and 8 fucking eyes. I mean, the 8 legs thing's taking the piss to start with, but having 8 eyes? Fuck off, you Tory cunts. It's just greedy. Okay, Runaway, starring Tom Selleck. You're right, it wasn't Burt Reynolds, it was Tom Selleck. I knew it was someone with a moustache, a famous moustache. There you go. And Nancy Allen, who was also in RoboCop, I think. Came out 1994, same as the Terminator. Fuck it, you guys are good. You guys are really fucking good. Yeah, that I remember that movie well. I must have been 5 or no, it would have been on TV, so it would have been a couple of years. So it would have been about 7, I think. Chatting about electoral calculus this evening has Labour returning 498 seats with 50.5% of the vote, with the Tories returning just 58 MPs. Boo! Yeah, that's what I like to fucking hear. Oh, baby, come on. Check out those stats, baby. Yeah, those vital statistics. Take that, you Tory scum. Anyway, moving on. We have Boris in Spain, but he is a gay TV presenter. Well, I like him a lot more than our Boris, then. Liverpool cop. Do you like King Charles? No, he's a cunt. They're all cunts, except for Harry. I like Harry because he enrages the gammon. But yeah, no. King Charles, I saw Ben Chambers last night of 15 Million Rising fame. And 60 million, because I've stolen a million people there. 60 Million Rising fame. And... they're chatting about this, and I mentioned the fact that King Charles once wanted to be his mistress's tampon, and he was like, really? And I'm like, I thought everyone knew this. So if you don't know this already, right? There were these tapes called, I think, the Squidgy Gate tapes or something like that, and it was a secretly recorded conversation between the now King Charles and his now Queen consort, Camilla Parker Bowles. In it, he said that he would quite like to be her tampon, so he could live in her vagina. He actually said that. The king of fucking England, mate. The king of fucking England. Oh, no wonder there's no decorum. And I mean, you know, King Charles could do things that, you know, I approve of, and therefore he could earn some brownie points off me. So far, he has freaked out about pens, had weird little sausage hands and sausage fingers, and he isn't going to the COP27 summit. So he hasn't done anything yet to like prove me wrong. I just think he's a cock. I'm sorry, but you know. And there's a part of me that says, I should skip a generation. You know, like in Teen Wolf, where he says sometimes it skips a generation. They should skip a generation, just go straight to William. And he's a bit of a cock as well, isn't he? Fucking baldy cock. Anyway, I can't speak. I know. Okay, saw it on the big screen, says James Hertford. Whoa, well done. I kind of wish Charles would push the boundary a bit, like in To Play the King. Yeah, that would be good. Although in To Play the King, he lost, didn't he? to Francis Urquhart. So that probably wouldn't work out so well. I don't know. Madine Dorries would give Johnson more than her support. She can have him warming her bed faster than I could tell. Oh, please, come on. This is a family show. For fucking families, all right? Fucking cunting families. I think the Squidgygate tapes involved Diana and James Gilby. Okay, well, it was the tampon tapes then. I don't know what it was called. I said I didn't know. It was... obviously, they were just... The tabloid newspapers, think that the Queen was amazing because she's dead. Used to just spend the whole time harassing the Queen's children and bugging the private telephone conversations and putting the contents of them on the front page of newspapers. Bit embarrassing, but, cocks. King Charles is vocal to raise awareness on climate change. Why then would activists damage his wax statue? To get attention to the fact that the world is dying. We are killing the world, and we live on the world. We've got nowhere else to live. So if we kill it, we're going to die violently of something horrible, like hunger, or just, I don't know, eating each other. Let's die violently of cannibalism. Yay, that sounds like a bright and wonderful future for our children and grandchildren. No silver bullet or quick fix for that, unfortunately, says Chatty Rat. No, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, there is no quick silver bullet for any of this shit. Peter Connor said a little bit earlier, how can they impose austerity when literally no one voted for it? They voted for levelling up. Yeah. The thing is, Peter, I think a lot of people did vote for it because there's a lot of fuckers in this country. There's a lot of... England. I'm talking specifically about England here. I mean, there's a lot of fuckers in Wales, but they're all English. I mean all the Welsh are English. I mean, the fuckers in Wales are generally English. That's why if you look at a map of how they vote, it's all like the counties that are close to, or the constituencies that are close to England that tend to vote for the Tories. I mean, imagine being Welsh and voting for the Tories. How mad would you have to be? Be like, voting to... like vote for someone to rob your house and steal your life savings and destroy your all the photos of your life, just burn them in front of you. It would be like vote for someone to do that. Why would you do that? Why? Anyway, moving swiftly on. Not so wonderful Mad Max world is coming for us all, says Don Donovan. Yeah, and interestingly, Mad Max, people think that Mad Max 1 was some kind of nuclear apocalypse. It wasn't. In fact, Mad Max 1 is not really a post-apocalyptic film. It's just a film where the world is on the edge of the apocalypse, where lawless biker gangs roam the streets and no one can stop them, except for Mad Max, when he gets around to it. And Mad Max 2 is not actually post-nuclear conflict. Everyone seems to think it is. It's not. It's just that the oil's run out. That's what happened. The fucking oil has run out. And so everyone's fighting over the oil. Mad Max 3, as shown by, I don't know, the cave paintings and the kids' fucking habitat where they live, is post-nuclear. So basically, the story of Mad Max is dwindling resources, anarchy, leads to, the oil not, being this precious thing that people are prepared to kill each other over, and that leads into nuclear annihilation for the vast majority of the planet. And anyone who's read Neville Shoots on the Beach should be a little bit worried about that, because if there is a nuclear exchange anywhere in the world, although most countries are populated on this side of the world, this hemisphere of the world, and also on this top bit of the... So if you think of the world, right, as a planet, because it is, as a globe, most of one side of it's water. That's the Pacific Ocean. Most of this side is land. We're the land's hemisphere. We have the land, yeah. But most of that land, in turn, is in the Northern Hemisphere. In fact, there's only about 25 countries in the Southern Hemisphere. True story. And that is mad, isn't it? You'd expect there to be a lot more countries in the Southern Hemisphere than 25, but it's not many. It's not many countries in the Southern Hemisphere. Just saying. Someone's going to tell me now that it's exactly 32 or something, but there were countries that straddle. So, for instance, Equatorial Guinea straddle. Actually, I don't know if it does. Gabon straddles the borders, straddles the equator. Ecuador, obviously, Brazil and Indonesia straddles the equator as well. But anyway, Mad Max Fury Road is when drinking water's run out. Yes, good point, Don Donovan. And the original script for Fury Road was a continuation of the Mel Gibson character. Which is why there's a line in Fury Road where he says, I used to be a police officer. And you're like, hang on, if it's been the apocalypse for like 50 years and you look like, I don't know, you're in your 40s. How the fuck did that happen? You know, it's a bit weird. But there you go. I wonder what would happen if Rwanda reformed and there were no bodies of water between any country, says Phil. Well, that'd be quite cool. I feel very sad. I see a bleak future. Thank you very much for the £2 super chat there, Alexis. And I'm sorry that the future does look a bit bleak. Does look a bit shit. And what we need to do is we need to take to the streets and demand a revolution. That's what we need to. Yeah. We had 1 million people on the streets against Brexit. 1 million people. Think about what we could have done with 1 million people. I know they weren't the type that would, like, you know, storm Congress, but imagine if they were the type to storm Congress. Imagine what we could have done. But never mind. Kiribati is in all hemispheres, east, west, north, and south. It is indeed good old Kiribati. It's written Kiribati, but it's pronounced Kiribati. I know, because I've been there. But yes, A Boy and His Dog, starring Don Johnson, a Disney film with a telepathic dog, post-apocalyptic. Wow. Well, they loved in especially in the 1970s. Like there was the Amiga Man, there was Soylent Green, there was Logan's Run, there was Phase 4. There was there were a lot of post-apocalyptic movies in the 1970s. I really loved. It sort of started with Planet of the Apes. Sorry, spoilers, in 1968. But after that, yeah, pretty good. A sexual revolution. Says David. Well, that'd be quite cool, actually. Do we need a sexual? Yeah, we probably do. I think we're getting that with the younger generation. They're just much more sensibler than older people. They're committing less crime. They're taking less drugs. They're drinking less. And just this new generation coming up seem a lot more aware of what's going on in the world and a lot better at critical thinking than we are, and especially older people are. Kath Hole says, it's excessive Irish government policy to have a housing crisis. You're right, there's no easy fix, but I expect there will be a start after the next election. Yeah, maybe. Walter is here. Evening, folks, from 5 degrees C, chilly Scotland. Yes, indeed. The day after Threads and When the Wind Blows, not required viewing for feeling good. The day after Threads and When the Wind Blows were all 80s movies. And one of my friends, his mum, directed The Snowman, and she did the dream sequence in When the Wind Blows. Fun story. Anyway, yeah, the day after was the movie that I think Ronald Reagan watched. It was a TV movie, I think. And Ronald Reagan watched it, and it put the shits up him so badly that he completely rethought his stance against Russia, leading to a melting of the Cold War, which led to Glasnost, Perestroika, and with a few other factors, like, I don't know, the loss of the war in Afghanistan. Nobody wins a war in Afghanistan. The Soviet Union collapsed for the third time, I think, fourth. I don't know. Russia collapsed. And, the Russian Empire. The second Russian Empire. I think that the third Russian Empire could be on its last legs. Do you know why? I don't, because I'm an idiot. But I've read a lot of stuff, right? I like to read. I like to watch, videos that explain things to me like I'm an idiot, because I am an idiot. And one of the things people talk about a lot with the situation in Russia is the brain drain. And not just brain drain, just the population. Demographics, matey. Demographics. It's like that bit in The Graduate, it's just one word for you, Benjamin. Demographics. One word for you, Putin. Demographics. So, with this war in Ukraine, Putin has basically there is this huge dearth of young people in Russia because people just aren't having kids. The fertility rate in Russia, which is nothing to do with how many sperm you've got or whatever, how many eggs you have, it's actually to do with just the amount of children who are being born. It needs to be like 2.1, I think, per person. Is it 2.1 per woman? 2.1 per woman, I think it is, for a sustainable population. Not sustainable, it's a bad word. A constant refresh of the population. Anything less than that, you're going to have a diminishing population. And what you do is you end up with a sort of inverted pyramid. We have lots of old people, and you have enough young people who are working and paying tax that can support the old people who can't work anymore because they're too fucking old. And what Putin's done is he's actually accelerated the exodus of young people from Russia by signing them up to fight for a war that they don't want to fight. And you've got to marvel at this. So before Putin started this fucking war, he was safe and secure knowing that no one was going to touch Crimea. He was safe and secure in knowing that Finland and Sweden were never going to join NATO. He was safe. He had it all, basically. And he went, no, it's not enough. I already had the biggest country in the world, plus South Ossetia and Abkhazia from Georgia, plus Chechnya and Dagestan, which wanted to break away, plus all the republics within Russia, which arguably could be independent. He said, no, I've got all this stuff, but I want more. I want the biggest country in the world, but I want more. I want Ukraine as well, because I don't want the border of NATO, up against the border of Russia. And you're looking at a map of Russia, and you're like, okay, so you take Ukraine, and then you're literally got a huge border with NATO countries like Hungary and Poland. What the fuck, mate? Like, you're literally making your border with these countries. You're making the border with NATO bigger by invading Ukraine. Holy motherfucking God. Anyway, so, as a result of him invading Ukraine, not only has Finland and Sweden applied to join NATO, which looks like it's going to go ahead in the next few months, thereby extending the border, the straight border between NATO and Russia from from being just Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, all the way up to the fucking North Pole now, all the way up to the North fucking Pole. There's a massive border, and on one side of it is NATO because of this invasion. This is fucking invasion. I mean, fucking idiot. How can you fuck up so badly? And the other thing is that young people have left in droves. I mean, also 80,000 Russians have died in this war. 80,000 Russians have died in this war already. Oh my God, and they're all like young people. Young, I don't know, kind of capable people. I know there's a joke about Russian soldiers being thick as pig shit, and it's lucky for us they're so fucking stupid. But the fact remains that when people are in their prime, when they're young, when they're in their 20s, they can do quite a lot. As they get older, they can do less and less. It's just the way things are. It's aging. It's just biology. And now Putin has got like half of the people who any kind of intellectual, any kind of doer, any kind of entrepreneur, they're all fucked off. Like, I'm not gonna fucking fight in Ukraine and fucking die. It's quite remarkable how shit at their jobs these people are in charge of these things. It's like you put a fucking idiot in charge of your country and what happens? The exact opposite of what they want to happen. Did you think, though, that the people who wanted Brexit, do you ever think that they really, really, really thought it'd be great, for Britain to put up trade barriers with its nearby wealthy neighbours? Yeah. Did you think that was a good idea? I mean, that's the question I want to sit with them and ask. And say, did you think that would be a good idea? Do you think that would make us money? Can you walk me through that? As I went off on one the other day, there's only 6 countries in the world that aren't in Europe that are worth getting a trade deal with. 6. Is that? Fuck me sideways. And I think that the EU's got trade deals with nearly all of them as well. Leveling up is what you are rewarded with virtual returns that do not really exist. Sounds about right then, indeed. Chernobyl was also a pretty big factor in the collapse of the Soviet Union. Yes, that's a very good point to Drains Wolf. Well done. Don Donovan. Sorry, that sounded really patronising. I didn't mean to be patronising. That is actually a good point. I don't know why I said well done like a twat. Why is my stupid brain so stupid, says Duke Vengeance. I don't know, mate. Well, look at it this way. The human brain is the most complex thing we know of in the universe. Even an idiot's brain is the most complex thing we know of in the universe. And my computer, compared with my brain, is really simple. And yet it crashes all the time. And I kind of just take that as read as, it's obviously because, it overloads, RAM fucking conflicts, maybe overheats. I don't fucking know. It goes wrong. And my brain's way more complex than that, so there's more things to go wrong. See what I mean? Anyway, one is Belize, and they said, no, Cathal's talking about the other countries that we're going to send people to. Belize and Paraguay. And there's one other, if someone lets me know. I mean, what the fuck? You're going to send asylum seekers to Belize and Belize? Like, no, you're not. Fuck off. You're going to send them to Paraguay, one of the poorest countries in the entire Western Hemisphere. Sorry, in the entire Americas. My God, what the fuck? Why? Because you've got to deter them. We're going to deter them. They're going to fucking deter them, you fucking idiots. They can try even harder to get over, as QED has been demonstrated by the fact that loads of people have been coming over since Brexit because it's made it a lot easier for them to come over and not be sent back to France, which under the Dublin Agreement, they had to go back to France. They don't have to go back to France anymore. Just get over, and that's it. They can apply for asylum. And asylum is something what 80% of them get because they're real, actual fucking refugees, mate. They're real refugees. Yes, a lot did. You never win at this by massing an army in Ukraine, indeed. You said everything already in your 3 blokes in the pub videos. Thank you, Lars. Yes, I should shut up. You've said all this, Graham, you silly twat. Pineapple says there was buffer states and the strategic gaps hypothesis, but it's meaningless in the atomic age. Who is invading Russia when it has 7,000 nukes? A successful democratic Ukraine is a feared mirror. Yes. Pineapple Boy puts it very, very succinctly there and absolutely 100% on the ball. They just didn't want a successful democracy, ex-Soviet republic, on their doorstep at the size of Ukraine. I cannot understand why the UK government is so obsessed with deporting immigrants. It should be thankful for immigrants. Yes, because, David, we're talking about the same thing here, aren't we? With the the inverse pyramid of age, of population, in which we have lots of old people who all fucking voted for Brexit. Well, not all of them. There's Bob. Bob didn't vote for it. He's all right, but the rest of them fucking dead cunts. But you got all these old people, and they're not very good at the internet. And then you got the people at the younger generations. And there's less of them. There's fewer than them. Fewer of them. So it means that when they're working, because you only give a proportion of your income to tax, you're going to have to be taxed more to pay for the older people to stay alive. Which is probably why the Tories are trying to kill them all with COVID and now with cold and starvation. Which is nice. By nice, I mean fucking horrible. What's wrong with the fucking Tories? Everything. Okay, Daniel Hannan thought it'd be a good idea. He even wrote about the potteries. Yeah, oh, for fuck's sake, Daniel Hannan, another privately educated cunt. By the way, after this, if you want to head over to the ever-growing list of privately educated people who run everything, just head over to privateschoolmafia.com, and basically that is the website. I think we're up to 430 people on the list now. 430 people in the public eye who went to private school. And it's just fascinating. Just have a look. I was showing Ben last night. I was also showing in this list. Oh, and he's going through it, and I went, Ben, you're only up to the C's. Literally, he was going like, bloody hell. I was like, you're only up you're up to D's now. But yeah, do we not have a labour shortage? Yep, we do. But the Tories spin that by going, oh, but we've got almost 100% employment. Yeah, because we've got so much fucking labour shortage that the economy is on a fucking highway to fucking hell, mate. Because we don't have the people to do the fucking work that we need to do. And think about it this way. You have, I think a restaurateur was talking about this, you have 200,000 people who are missing from the hospitality trade. But also, you have the income from the taxes that 200,000 people who are working in the hospitality trade would have paid out from their wage packet as pay as you earn into the fucking coffers of the government. Do that now. Because they're gone. Woo. They've been Brexited. They've been disappeared. They've gone and re-emerged in another country that's warmer and has better beer and better chocolate and better people than Britain right now. Fuck me sideways. Okay, right. Moving swiftly on because we're going to have to wrap it up soon because we're coming up to the 10 o'clock hour. And I know we used to come on at 10 o'clock. I was called Hughes at 10. That's why I changed the name so I could come on at any time I wanted. But I'm trying to make it every Thursday at 9 o'clock. So put it in your diary. Then we'll have a chat on Thursdays at 9 o'clock. I'm trying to make it so like Mondays as well. Mondays are a day when we have a live chat on here and any other new platform that I might create in the near future. But yes, let's try and make Thursdays our own. Okay. Daniel Hannan thought it'd be a good idea. Read that one. Belize, Rwanda, Paraguay, British Empire resumes indentured migration. Good, very good point there, Phil. Thank you very much. Mushroom Britain. 2 former empires on the edge of Europe lusting after past glories. That is absolutely 100% on the money. I wish I had a prize for the best comments, although Ernie Burns will probably win it each day. But, each week, sorry. So, maybe in the future, if we got some watch, we can give a prize for the best comment of the night. What do you reckon? I think because the quality of the comments on these videos is just fucking amazing. It is just absolutely staggering, and it's great that we don't get many trolls, do we? This is weird. I mean, it's probably because there's not that many people watching, but seriously, it's kind of cool that the group of us, we get together and we can discuss this stuff like civilized human beings, with a few swears along the way, and just go, my God, what the fuck are these cunts doing to this place? My Jesus Christ, on a fucking bike. All right, anyway, Liam says, if you're on the dole 6 months, they send you a computer course or something, as you are no longer included in unemployed. Yes, indeed, that's very true, Liam. And if you work like 1 hour a week, you're not unemployed, apparently. Just a way to massage your stats. Yeah, and also if you're unemployed, if you're on the streets, you're not unemployed, apparently, because you're not claiming job seekers allowance or whatever it's called these days. Graham moved to Spain as I did. At least the rain is warmer if it rains. Has some laws. Sounds like a plan. I have a nephew in Canada, also well settled there, so I won't be coming back home except for visits. I'm planning for Panama. I mean, I've got the island over there, and you know, it's a bit rustic, I've got to say, but it's warm. I won't get cold in my bones. The problem is that all my mates and my family, well, not all my mates, but a lot of my mates and a lot of my family are here in the UK. I can't fit them all on my island. It's not that big an island. Any burns, we are all stupid, but it's fine as long as you admit it. The danger comes from being insecure about dumbness. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, insecurity about being sort of stupid is... It should be a good thing. Do you know what I mean? It should be like you're less likely to be monstrously arrogant about something because there's a little voice in the back of your head going, you might not have got this completely right. You might be getting the wrong end of the stick here. But a lot of people don't seem to have that. And the more it's a Dunning-Kruger effect, isn't it? The more stupid you are, the less self-aware you are of your own stupidity. The less self-aware you are of how little you know about any given subject. And I do worry, you know, like if I come up with a stat... on these live shows. I mean, I don't have anything in front of me. Well, I've got your comments, which is lovely, and a monitor shows me what should be going out. Hopefully, it's not just some random images being foisted upon you. Yeah, I think that when I come out with statistics and things, there's always a little voice in the back of my head going, "Is that right? Is that right?" And I don't know if you noticed, but I do that a lot. Where I'll say, I think it's about 40 billion. I think it's about. Don't quote me. I ask you to look it up on Google, because unless I'm completely 100% certain that my stats are completely 100% correct, then I tend to just dial them back a little bit. Get a commune sorted on Ginger Island could be fun. That would be great. Panama sounds good. When I reach my pension age, at least I can maintain your IT there, and Marcus can plant trees and do the wood stuff. That'd be really good. Redheads are the smartest people. What do I win? That's from Walter. I don't know if that's true, mate. There were very clever people from all walks of life. Cathal says they're needed to come back and build houses to fix the housing crisis. Carrots are required. Even then, it will be a gradual process. And the Faculty says, I have 2 sisters living in Toronto, Canada. They are shocked at the news from the UK. Yeah, we've lost our fucking minds. Collectively, we have lost our fucking minds. Our entire nation is undergoing some mad midlife crisis in which we've left our reliable, loving partner and decided to shack up with, I don't know, a fucking psychopathic clown from another planet because Brexit means Brexit. And on that tragic note, I'm going to say ta-ra to you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your wonderful, wonderful comments there. Duke Vengeance flipping out there saying, my brain has gone flip doodah von jiggly bags, which is quite a nice turn of phrase. Who is not shocked about the recent news from the UK and laughing too? Well, yeah. Laughing and crying. Laughing and crying. Liam North says, night, folks, which is my cue to say ta-ra. So thank you very much for my wonderful... viewers and for the super chats. Thank you very much for everyone who chipped in tonight for the super chats for our little show. And I'm going to leave you with a list of the people who are YouTube members and also patrons who help this channel survive and thrive. And I'll be back on Monday. I'll try and be back on Monday. And we will discuss more things. Probably 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on Monday. Can we do this? Can we try and make it? Because if I say that I'm going to do it, then it puts my impetus on me to actually do it. But let's say 9 o'clock, Mondays and Thursdays. Easy to remember. We're not going anywhere. It's fucking winter now. It's dark outside. Jesus Christ. Laughing and crying. Crafting. I can't even say that, Freckle Puny. The problem is a stupid person doesn't know they're stupid, and therefore I can't change their mind. That's absolutely true, Kevin Hegarty. And on that bombshell, I will say ta-ra. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.